What's up, you guys? We are back today with another video. This one is another post from the Neville sub, and it is called 5 Hidden Gems Lectures by Neville. Apparently, these are hard to find. So let's just get right into it. A few more awesome lectures must read are The Unknown Actor and The Law, Self-Circumcision. He said they're both top notch. Now, this is a description, I believe, of these, because within the post here, there are links to these lectures. But here we go with the descriptions. So The Unknown Actor, he says, that's the story of every being in this world. We're the actor, and the only actor in the entire play is God. There is no other play, no other actor. God is the only actor. When you say, I am, that's he. Now let me imitate him. He's not pretending that he's you. He gave himself up and sunk himself into you and became you. And whatever he imagines in you, he brings to pass. For nothing is impossible to God. I don't care what it is, nothing is impossible to God. He actually became you. He isn't pretending at all. If you will believe that he who actually is playing this part when you say, I am, is God, then you will imitate him and bring to pass what you want in this world. For as God, you can imagine yourself to be anything. You aren't going to stop the outcome of a play, for that outcome is predetermined. No one's going to stop it. No one is going to even divert it. God will use everything in this world towards the fulfillment of that final curtain. It will come down on the end just as he had predetermined. But here, take it to heart. This is a vision, a wonderful vision. I hope you'll believe it. If you think for one moment in this world of ours that you can spend an idle moment and say, well, no one sees me, I can feel a little thrill in telling him exactly what I think of him. And I carry on a little negative conversation for, say, 3 or 4 minutes. This is an exciting thing to do. Just tell him exactly what I think of him and ask him who he thinks he is. And then all these things I do. Well, you may not have confirmation of what you've done in the night dream because you don't remember it. But if you were awake in this world, there isn't one negative or positive thought in the course of 24 hours that does not, both here and there, objectify itself in your world. You'll see the strangest things happen, and you can trace them back to what you've done when you thought that no one was seeing you. So, Neville Goddard Lectures, memory. So when you go to bed tonight, you want something good for a friend. How would you see them if they had it? Well, then mentally persuade yourself that they had it. And don't raise a finger to make it so. See them as having it. See everyone as the one that you want them to be, and just go to sleep as though it were true. Until that day comes when the hunger moves you from these things, and then you wake up as from a sleep. Then you will know that what it is that he shouted as a strong man filled with wine when he woke, he was taking it all along, the wine and the bread. He was eating the body, drinking the blood of his own being, and in the end he woke from his own self-imposed dream, and then all the enemies would love him. So I guess these are actual quotes from Neville's book. As you can see, the language is a bit esoteric. All right, so this Neville Goddard lectures on the mysteries. So God imposes upon himself the restriction called man and becomes man in the hope that man may become God. It is God's self, the self-imposed restriction on the limitation called man, and at the appointed hour individually, for you are precious, no one can take your place, you are unique. There isn't one being in this world that can be replaced. Not one being that in some strange way could find an understudy. No, it is God playing your part, and he cannot fail. So in his own good time, he simply tears down that wall of division, the wall of hostility between you and himself, and you become one man, one new man. Neville Goddard Lectures, The Law of Self-Circumcision. Then man discovers the drama of life is mental. It isn't physical at all. So when man discovers that, it doesn't matter what the problem is. You are intelligent enough to know that this is the problem, that if this is the problem, what would be the solution? Ask a very simple question. What would be the solution of this problem? Well, You could see it mentally, couldn't you? Well, then you circumcise yourself. You take off the problem and see the solution. being every sense in your body, bring every sense of your body to bear upon that solution. Neville Goddard lectures, your mood decides your future. And this is the last one. Do I believe really that the mood determines my fortune, or am I going to wait for the fortune to create in me the mood? Am I going to do what Scripture teaches man to do? Close his eyes to the obvious, that I am impoverished, that I'm unwanted, I'm unknown. Well, I would like to revise all of these states in my world, but my eye denies that they are reversed. I am still unknown, still impoverished, still unwanted. And everything in my world tells me that these are the facts, but I don't want them. So I close my eyes to the obvious. Then I bring my Jacob and I clothe Jacob in what is to me reality. I feel wanted. What is the mood that would possess me where I wanted? What is the mood that would possess me where I known? What is the mood that would possess me where I now affluent? What is the mood? And so I bring it and clothe myself in the mood first and give it the tones of reality, all the sensory vividness I can muster, and see if this really is true of Scripture. For this is what Scripture teaches. Again, yes, so I believe what these are excerpts from these lectures. The unknown actor, the law of circumcision, self-circumcision, the law, self-circumcision. So what can we glean from these excerpts here? The state, the mood, catching the mood, imbuing it with the vividness. What is, a few years back, I would wake up and every morning I would feel myself waking up in a mood where I would wake up next to a partner. And that was something that was actually easy to do in the morning because the mind is more sleepy at that time. The mind is more, and there's been other times in my life where I've read and recited my goals every single morning or every single evening. But bringing that mood into me into sleep, that's what Neville talks about when he talks about the state akin to sleep. And having done that, and also thinking about your dreams as well. The dreams are so powerful. When you wake up, you experience the dream, you remember it with such vividness. Sometimes dreams feel more real than life, than waking life. And that's what Neville's talking about, that's why SATs is such a big thing, can you bring those feelings? And sometimes the logical mind doesn't have a chance to come in and interfere when you're in more of that drowsy, sleepy state. So can you bring those feelings into your feeling state in the morning, at night, before you go to sleep? This is something that we are aware of. Neville always talks about SATs and how the most powerful time, and Neville's not the only one that talks about this, but a lot of people have spoken about how the mind is open to these suggestions. That's why hypnosis works as well. They get you in a drowsy state. Jose Silva, you go into the alpha state of mind is what he calls it. It's all the similar type of state where you're not in this beta, very alert state, and you can really, really feel those feelings real and get into those meditations, get into those visualizations, saturate the mind. And again, when we talk about robotic affirming, a lot of the time I've recommended many times, do it while you're in the shower, do it while you're doing some mindless activity. You're engaged in washing the dishes or doing the laundry or driving. That's why people will drive to places and then be like, oh, I don't even remember how I got here, because they've entered into that state where you're able to bypass the gatekeeper of the subconscious. You're able to bypass it and really dwell in that 4D reality that you are looking to bring into your 3D. And, that's what Neville's talking about here. And I think one of the reasons that there's so many people talking about Neville's teachings is because they are a little bit, the language is just, It's very verbose. It's very flowery language. It's very kind of using analogies, which I think can be useful, but really getting at the heart of this and speaking in the most plain and simple terms is about this is a realization that a lot of people have had. He's talking about how God is playing the part in you. And yes, whatever you believe in, whether it's God, whether you don't believe in religion, I do believe that we're all connected, that there is this universal energy that is permeating throughout everything. That's what science has proven. And I have that video about the science behind manifestation as well that you can watch, where really quantum physics and all of these different types of disciplines or types of research that is at the cutting edge of science as we know it, there we are emitting and we are receiving energy, and this energy exists everywhere. These headphones are made up of energy. This guy right here is made up of energy. My hat, the lamp right here, the walls, everything. And if you are able to stop this logical mind for a bit, and that is by getting into a physical state of relaxation. That is by allowing yourself to feel good emotions, to get back into that childlike state. What did we do when we were children? Everything was exciting. Everything was magical. Even doing simple things like a trip to the store was this wondrous experience. If we can get back into that state, we're allowing that universal divine energy, the energy that isn't in everything, to flow through us and to work through us in a way where we're able to create synchronicities, we're able to create opportunities, we're getting downloads of inspiration, and we are now working in harmony with our imagined end rather than fighting against reality, saying, oh, well, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? And questioning everything with a logical mind. And, it is easier said than done. That's why we have these videos here. That's why we have so many people speaking about this. That's why Neville Goddard has become popular, and the law of attraction, law of assumption. That's why we have all these gurus on the internet to drive this point home again and again. And so I hope that this post, or me being here, helping you guys try to decipher Neville's language here, can help you understand with this fresh perspective that is essentially what we're doing. We're getting out of our way to allow this energy that permeates through everything to flow through us naturally, unabated, and allow it simply to do what it knows to do. The body knows what to do. You get out of your head in that tennis game and you start hitting the ball better. You get out of your own way when you are public speaking. You stop overthinking some things too much, and you sit down and you start to write. When you start to write something, a lot of the times it's very hard you question it. You say, oh, I don't know if this is good enough. But through the momentum, through the practice of it, you're able to, and that's why there's a lot of power in taking like massive action. And with traditional self-help, talking about massive action, it's like you start to judge everything a bit less, because not every single thing that you're doing is this mountain that you're creating, this mental mountain that you do. Because if you've only created one, let's say that you are a songwriter, and if you only have one song that you're putting out there and you have everything behind this one song and it's so important, it does become easier to become too attached to it. It is easier to be less attached the more music that you write, the more it is that you work that muscle, the more it is that you do whatever it is that you do, you have more opportunity to do without trying, or to do without strain, to do without effort, which is really a big key thing. It's complicated. It is complicated. You hear different things. Ultimately, it is internal feeling, an internal knowing that you get when you are in the course of taking action. And that will come when you are immersed in the thing. You are doing it. You are focused on the process rather than the end result. And like I said, it's easier to get sometimes into that process when you do a lot of repetition. Hopefully that makes sense. If you found this video helpful, drop me a like, drop me a comment, hit me with a subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.